Should you be lifting weights when training Muay Thai? Well, that depends. Let's break it down. Right. Lifting and martial arts are on two different poles. On one side, you have lifting, which is incorporated in increased muscle mass, bigger bodies, heavier movements, shorter ranges of motions. And on the other side, you have fighters who are always looking to get lighter to make weight for their respective classes. All right, they need to be nimble. They need to cover range and they need to do it quickly. So that means lifting is bad. Well, not exactly. Weights in the hands of fighters are very different to weights in the hands of a bodybuilder. Right? Instead of working on muscle hypertrophy, fighters usually focus on power generation and improving the firing of existing muscle fibers. They usually want to avoid the soreness, tightness, the fatigue that is usually associated with weightlifting. Okay, mainly because of the recovery period, which is sometimes 3 to 10 days, depending on the intensity of the session. So that means 3 to 10 days of hindered skill training, right? Because of the tightness, the limited range of motion, the fatigue, not to mention the over exaggerated pain they're going to feel in sparring when they're being hit, which is sure to shift their focus. So, going back to the start, should you be lifting weights? And what does it depend on? Well, there are 4 questions you need to ask yourself. Question number 1: how much time are you investing in training? So, if you're only willing to put in 2 to 3 sessions per week, I wouldn't recommend squeezing in a weight training session, mainly because priority one is always skill training. Okay, and removing 1 session of skill training to add 1 session of weightlifting, it's only going to spread your progress very, very thin. Now, if you're willing to put in 4 to 5 sessions of training per week, then you can start adding weight sessions, resistance training sessions accordingly. So let's say you're training 4 times per week. So now you can train 3 skill training sessions and 1 weightlifting session. Remember, priority one is always the skill training. Now, given that the answer to question 1 is a positive one, question number 2: what's your goal in training? If you're doing it for the love of the sport or you're just doing it for exercise, then I would recommend you add the weightlifting session according to your time. All right. If you're in this category, I'm guessing you have a job, you have a family, you have a social life. So I would recommend fitting your schedule in a way that would keep you sane. All right. And not very limited by your time. Now, if you don't have any of that, then by all means, welcome to category 2, the fighters. Fighters usually train 5 to 6 times per week with multiple sessions per day. So scheduling in the weightlifting session is not an issue and it's necessary. Question number 3: do you feel like you lack striking power? Now, of course, striking power is developed by practicing the move, proper execution, repetitiveness, right? But you can benefit from improved striking power through weightlifting, given that you're doing the correct exercises with proper weights and proper speed of execution of the exercise. So all that falls into that category of doing your research well and having a coach monitoring you. Question number 4: do you want to go up a weight class? Now, this might sound weird, but usually fighters struggle with lower weight classes because of the speed and the longer stamina of the fighters. So fighters on the slower end tend to struggle with this and seek to go up a weight class where they might feel a bit more comfortable and might seem faster with regards to their opponents. Okay? And doing so with weightlifting and gaining muscle mass and ultimately gaining power is the correct way to do this. So if the answer to any of the last 3 questions is yes, then yes, you should lift weights. Now, how do you schedule your training sessions and what exercises you should be doing? Well, that's a topic for another time. See ya.